So welcome back to my channel, guys. It's Christmas time, so today I'll be baking a Christmas cake. Well, a Jamaican Christmas cake. Some persons call it rum cake. So right here we have the fruit mixture. I actually didn't get a chance to put fruits to soak early in the year. So I actually stew these. Yeah, I stewed these last night, so I'm gonna use the stew ones to do it. And these are just some spices. I have baking powder, little salt, allspice, maybe a tablespoon and a half allspice, some grounded cloves, grounded nutmeg, cinnamon grounded, a little bit of ginger right there. You don't have to use it. Some persons use it, some persons don't. I just use a little bit. And I have butter here, unsalted. Over here, I have my brown sugar. You can use brown or white, but the brown sugar helps with the coloring of the cake as well. The white sugar, it's gonna be a little bit more bland, you know, if you know what I mean, unless you're gonna put added molasses or browning. Yeah, so, and we cannot do without our rum and good old wine. You can also use fruit wine, but this gives it a better flavor. It's not that dry. So yeah, and this is my browning, my molasses, and at some point we're going to use this, but for now, yeah, we definitely need a lemon. So when we're doing the eggs, because over here there are my eggs. Yep. So the rum and the red label wine, that's what I used to do the fruits, right? So I actually stewed it with the rum and the red label wine just to give it that rummy taste, right? That flavorful taste of alcohol. But you don't want to make it too strong, especially if you have kids or your wife is pregnant, etc., etc., or girlfriend. Are you giving it to older people? Or but if it's your preference, if you're doing it just for yourself, it's okay. You can use any amount of rum you want to use, but you just have to be moderate. For me, I was very much moderate with the amount of alcohol I put in here. Yeah. So what I do here, I have like a pound of butter, a pound of sugar. Based on the mixture size, well, I'll be making two 9-inch cakes. So hopefully this is not too sweet, not too fresh. So I'm gonna go in and incorporate the butter and the sugar using a handheld mixer. So I'll just show you what it looks like when I'm done. So I'm incorporating the butter and the sugar. And another thing to bear in mind too when you're doing the butter and stuff, especially the butter and the egg, it's good to have them at like room temperature basically, because it makes it easier instead of having it taken from the fridge and just add it immediately. it's coming on nicely. Just a few more mixes and it should be okay. And you see that rich brown coloration to it? Yeah, that's what I want. So with the eggs, what I try to do, I try to take these out of it. I know back home, when my mom is baking, she usually try to skim these off. Like she's saying, there's a level of rawness to it. I don't know. I don't know the difference, but doing it yourself as an adult, you try to pattern the same thing or the same belief, you know. I also use like the zest of the lemon and even the lemon juice, some lemon juice, just to reduce that rawness of the eggs. It's all up to you though. You can, if you don't want to, you don't have to, but that's what I do, just to reduce that amount of rawness, because you know you're using so many eggs. If you're sensitive to smell, you definitely can probably smell that rawness. So I'll be adding the egg to the mixture here, a little at a time. You don't want it to curdle. Even if it curdles, it's not so much of a big deal, but yeah, I just add it a little at a time and incorporate it. So you just keep adding the egg until it's fully incorporated without being all curdled up. So this is the wet ingredient. This is the fruits. Smells so nice. I can smell that wine and the rum, all that alcohol inside of it. So I'm just gonna add the fancy molasses and the browning. I mix them all together. You can put them in anyhow you like. So you can use the browning or the fancy molasses, but you have to remember that when you add browning, it can produce a level of bitterness if you use too much, right? So you have to bear that in mind when you're using browning from the store, or you can make your own with brown sugar, but I prefer to use the molasses though, and a little bit of browning. I don't want it too dark and I don't want it too light, because when I add the dry ingredients and everything else, the color will change somewhat. But for now, this is what it is. I also like to add a little vanilla. Even a little orange extract. So I have incorporated the the eggs with the butter and sugar. Now I'm going to add the rest of my wet ingredient to this and just get it together. Don't mind the curdle look. It will be just fine. It's coming together nicely. So when I add the flour and soap, just to get that final I thought it would have been dark enough, so I might have to add a little more molasses to it or browning, because seeing that I haven't added the flour yet and it's not that brown, not that dark per se, so it smells so nice. Ugh. So I'm adding just a little bit more caramel just to get that darkness that I'm looking for. And you can use a wooden spoon or whatever you feel like using to do this. I sometimes use the wooden spoon. I sometimes use a spatula. So now we're going in with our dry mixture. So cinnamon powder, a little bit of grounded clove, allspice, grounded nutmeg, baking powder, a little salt, you want to just incorporate all this into the flour, and I'll be sieving it after just to take out whatever hard particles there are. So I'm just going to sift this through to get all those hard particles out, if there's any. So I'll be adding the flour just in small amounts, just to get that mixture, that thickness. I don't want it too thick, and you don't want it to be too so this is how I'm folding it around and in, around and in, until it's all mixed out. Around and in, around and in. It's like an exercise, you know? In and out, up and down. But instead, this is around and in, round and in. So it's just folding it. Because you don't want any lumps in there. So and believe me when I tell you, this is a good workout. And the good thing about this too, I didn't blend the fruits out too much. I didn't make it too fine. So if you're eating, you probably can taste just a little bit of the fruits in it. Not even taste, but feel it in your mouth. Because trust me, the taste of this will be out of this world. So this is a mixture I'm looking for. Not too thick, not too thin, right? You don't want it too thick. You don't want it too thin. So I'm cutting my grease paper for the bake tin. I didn't get a chance to show you guys how I did it, but it's pretty simple. You just put the grease paper on top and cut around it, and you get that shape, and it will fit perfectly in the bottom, like so. Yeah, so it's not hard to do. I'm also going to cut paper for the circumference of the bake tin. So what I do, what's left here, I just estimate the depth of the tin, and then I cut it. So I have it like this. Then I cut some streaks into it. It would fit around the edges. So when I'm through cutting the So when I'm through cutting the grease paper for the baking tin, you want to grease your pan. I just use the same paper from the butter, butter packets. That will suffice, unless you want to go and do it differently, but I just use these. They work perfectly. I then add my paper like so. And it sits perfectly inside. It's a little short, so you didn't get all the way there. So what I do, just put a little there, a little here just to hold it. Here we go. And there we go. All ready to be filled up and put to the heat. So I use this 9-inch baking tin, and I'm just going to use 2 of these as well for the rest of it, instead of the another 9-inch baking tin. So I'll preheat my oven 330 degrees. Yeah, that's what I bake these cakes on. Right about there. So now it's time to add my mixture. And you don't want to fill it up too much, like three quarter of a way up to the top there. Shake it around or knock it just to get rid of any bubble there might be inside there, or air pockets. Yeah, any air pockets inside. I remember when I was younger, my mom would bake. I usually like to eat all that butter that's left in the container. I usually taste it or use my finger to scoop it out. Yeah. So this is how it looks. So this is it. They're all in. Hopefully they come out how they're supposed to. But I have no doubt. Totally confident of this. But beautifully done here. Just waiting for the final product. And you guys will see it for sure. So guys, what I do here is I put a water bath under the cakes to keep them moisturized. You know, you don't want the cakes to dry out too much. Yeah, so, but they are coming on beautifully. Look at that. Woo! Awesome. Look at this, guys. Looking beautiful. So what I did, I made some spritz for the cake from the red label wine and the rum, just to moisturize it. So you can spritz it just after it comes out of the oven, so that heat cause it to absorb the rich and succulent. So when they cool, I have a sample one inside there. I'll just cut it so you guys will see what it looks like. So this is it, guys. This is the final product, and I've cut a sample piece, and look at it. Just awesome. See that? Very rich. It's not dry, it's not too soft, it's just perfect. Perfect. Beautiful. So all done, just ready for the eating, and it tastes delicious. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and just click that notification bell so whenever I upload another video or so, you'll be able to be the first to know. Have a Merry Christmas, everyone.